trying to be great, and I'm on my way. Way up, way up, way up. It's never too late, and I'm on my way.
I'ma leave my mark. Ready, set, go. Ready, set, go. Ready, set.
With so much negativity being yielded at the youth of our nation, it seems hard to find any signs of a bright future. Coming from a legendary past, the new generation of Bahamians seek to take this nation to heights it's never seen. That's where the youth perspective comes in. We seek to display tomorrow's leaders in every facet of society. Each show will focus on today's pace-setters, trendsetters, movers and shakers, and the next generation of great, impactful Bahamians. We seek to uplift, motivate, and encourage our listeners. Tune in as we address issues of importance with wisdom and intelligence, all from the youth perspective.
It's worship time again, yeah. Come on, let's celebrate. Join in with me. Anybody in the party want to praise him? Anybody in the party ready to lift his holy name? Shout now. Anybody in the party want to thank him? Anybody in the party ready to bless up his name? Join the praise party. Jesus is worthy. The King is here. Celebration atmosphere. Kick off your shoes. Dry up your tears. The King is here. Celebration atmosphere. Whoa. Yeah. It's worship time again. Grab your neighbor by the hand, tell him, come with me. It's time to celebrate. Ooh, ooh. Anybody in the party want to worship, worship, worship? Say. Anybody in the party ready to lift his holy name? Shout now. Anybody in the party ready to love him? Love him, love him. Say. Love him till the morning comes. Join the praise party. Jesus is worthy. The King is here. Celebration atmosphere. Kick off your shoes. Dry up your tears. The King is here. Celebration atmosphere. Join the praise party. Celebrate. Jesus is worthy. The King is here. Celebration atmosphere. Kick off your shoes. Dry up your tears. The King is here. Celebration atmosphere. Oh yeah. I feel the worship in this atmosphere. Oh yeah. The glory of the Lord is also near. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Lift your voice and gather and declare the King is here. Time to celebrate. Turn it up. Ooh. Oh yeah. Party time. Time to celebrate Jesus. There is a King in the building. Join the praise party. There is a party. Jesus is worthy. The King is here. Celebration atmosphere. Kick off your shoes. Dry up your tears. The King is here. Celebration atmosphere. Join the praise party. Jesus is worthy. Oh yes, the King is here. Celebration atmosphere. Kick off your shoes. Dry up your tears. The King is here. Celebration atmosphere. Join the praise party. Jesus is worthy. The King is here. Celebration atmosphere. Kick off your shoes. Dry up your tears. The King is here. Celebration atmosphere. Whoa.
And we're back. It's all about the youth perspective with yours truly, Cashigan J. Adderley. All right. And of course, don't forget the show is now available on SoundCloud. All right. So all the episodes are uploaded to SoundCloud, and then from there they go to iTunes. All right. So you have an Apple device, you can go in the App Store and you can look up Cashigan J. Adderley, the youth perspective, and you can find a long cadre of the episodes that have been posted, and also this one as well. All right. And thank you so much for tuning in. And of course, you're listening. Use the hashtag pound the youth perspective. Well, I'm back with a brand new episode, and I have a great artist, a great guest who's in the studio. We've been waiting to connect for some time. I had to wait till he came back in the country. So this one is a little bit international, but not too far, just across the seas, across the waters there. But we have the one and only Pastor Gardiner in the studio. How you doing?
I am doing wonderfully well, and I am so blessed to be here on the show with you, Brother KJ, man. This is just awesome, bro.
Yeah. It's so great to have you join me. And persons probably don't know, but you're living in the Turks and Caicos now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's why we had to wait, Because, we could have done it over the phone, but it's just so much better when you actually have the person in studio. Yeah. So thank you so much for agreeing to come on. And don't let this your last time.
Of course not.
Yeah, come back again. All right. So before we get into the music, and once we say the songs, people would probably be able to put the name together, and they'd be like, "Oh, that's you singing that song." Tell us a little bit about yourself for persons who might have been, hearing about you probably for the first time, not familiar with you.
Yeah. Well, as you know, I'm really a native of Nassau, Bahamas, and so I'm really a Nassau boy. Born and bred, Church of God. Grew up at East Street Cathedral, Lily in the Valley corner there.
Okay.
And so I'm very much Pentecostal down to the bone. And did some schooling abroad, but I went to C.H. Reeves right here in Nassau.
All right.
Spent some time at Prince William. So I am completely a hometown boy.
Yeah.
Went to Lee University in Tennessee,
right.
Where I met my prophecy gal. That's so crazy because she was from Grand Bahama.
Yeah.
I'm from Nassau, but we met in Tennessee. And now I'm living in Turks. And music is my passion.
Right.
And I'm just loving doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. Powerful. So now, as we continue to move, you said that you grew up in Nassau. So how did you make that move to Turks?
Well, from Nassau, like I said, actually I stopped over in Virginia for a couple of years, did some schooling there, then went to Tennessee, and then from Tennessee came back to Freeport, and that's the connection with Turks and Caicos, because as you know, a lot of Grand Bahamians and Turks Islanders family, they're very, very, very closely related, and so my wife's uncle, he's like, hey, come over here and help us with the band down here in Turks and Caicos. And so I say, I think not, because I'm so used to the city life, but after some prayer, and getting the release from God to go down there, that's how we ended up there. It was music. I went down there to help with the marching band in the Turks and Caicos, and we've been there now for the last 6 years, and we've planted a ministry down there with the Church of God over the last 2 years, and it's just been awesome. God is blessing it.
Yeah, definitely. And I didn't know you were there for so long. So now, I guess, working, do you play instruments as well, or?
Yeah. I started out in the marching band, playing all the brass instruments, and then went on into keyboards, and then vocals.
Right. Now, how did you make the switch, I guess, or maybe the migration into doing, I guess, gospel? Would you call it soca? Gospel, upbeat music and stuff like that. Where did that come from?
Well, like I was telling Miss Coakley, Latira, before we came in studio, I was also a Junkanoo boy, I joined the Valley Boys when I was like, I was about 10 or 11 years old.
Wow.
And if you know anything about the Valley Boys, we were a group, we didn't just play the regular rake and scrape music. We would take these songs from Carnival, the soca stuff, and we would adapt it to Junkanoo music.
Right.
And so that was actually my first encounter with soca music. Ronald Sims loves soca music.
Right.
And that was my first encounter with it. And then later on in life, after moving down to Turks and Caicos, where we have such a melting pot of nationalities. Turks and Caicos is nothing like Bahamians would remember it to be 20, 30 years ago. You have everybody from the Caribbean down there: Jamaicans, Bahamians, Dominicans, Guyanese. Is like the Miami of the Caribbean.
Right.
And so I found that I had to make an adjustment with my music in order to reach that culture, and soca music was one of those adjustments. And so we kind of fused the soca with the rake and scrape, and they really call it bush down there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bush. Okay.
And so when I made that switch over there, I found that it was a whole lot more received, and that's what kind of happened.
Right. And I think at this time we have to give respect to where it's due. Minister Von P. Miller, who really pushed Join the Praise Party.
Yeah.
Because I heard it from him, and I was like, what is the Join the Praise? This song, I mean, he was ringing it every morning, and I was like, and then I started to play it, and then I was like, wow, this is amazing. And we didn't know if the person, well, he said the person was Bahamian. That's how I knew you were Bahamian, because I really thought, it was a Caribbean artist from Jamaica or something like that. And when I found it was Bahamian, I was like, yeah, this is off the chain. Wow. So tell us, how did the Join the Praise Party come along?
Oh, man.
Before we get into running over.
Join the Praise Party, I have to be completely honest with you. That it was just one of those days I sat down at the table and I just, after you've been doing music your entire life, you just hear music. You're at the kitchen, you're cooking in the kitchen, you hear music. You're getting dressed, you're hearing music. And so that was one of the days I was just sitting down at the table, and I heard the lyrics, Join the Praise Party, Jesus is worthy. And I'm like, whoa, where is this coming from? Wow. And I started to write. And there you have it. I just knew it was a party theme. It was something to encourage the body of Christ and get people happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because sometimes with gospel music, we as individuals, we go through so much negative things that artists oftentimes write about those negative things. So the song would be pretty negative for the first minute or two, and then you got the overcoming part. You got the conqueror more than the conqueror part. Yeah. But stuff like this is really encouraging. It really gives young persons and the other longer persons something to dance to, something to party to, and something to have fun, because it's joyous to be saved, joyous to be with the Lord. So we appreciate it.
Yeah, man. It was a joy just putting that out there to encourage folk.
Now, who worked on it? Who did the rhythms and the arrangements and everything?
So let me tell you the thing about that,
right,
Keshigan. At the time when I did Praise Party, I was also teaching music at a high school.
Okay.
And I was on the section of Caribbean music that was focusing on soca.
Wow. Okay.
And I was inspired because as I was studying soca music and teaching it to the kids, it was one of those days I just went home in the studio and I was like, hey, I'm studying this thing, teaching it to the kids. Let me try to put this thing to work.
Okay. Right.
And so I just put the what do we call it now? I put the loop together with all the percussion instruments and stuff, and I was like, I think this is kind of a close representation of what it is or what it should be, and it came from there. But I produced, wrote, I did everything on Praise Party. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Indeed. Now, I ask this question to everybody who comes in because we have a lot of younger persons listening in, and I always like to ask persons if you could give any encouragement to young persons listening in. Maybe they want to get into music. Maybe they want to be a writer. Maybe they want to get into playing instruments. So whatever it is that's around that forte, is there any advice you could give to them?
Don't quit. You have to be persistent and you have to practice a lot.
Yeah.
I went through a stage as a youth where practicing was what I did day and night, and sometimes I only stopped practicing because it would be too much noise in the house.
Right.
But you have to practice. You have to hone your skills. The Bible encourages us. The Word of God says in the book of Proverbs that your gift will make room for you. And it will take you before kings, not mean men, And so, you have to sharpen. You have to be skillful at what you do, because the more skillful you are, the more doors will open. Someone said it like this: luck favors the prepared.
Wow.
And really, as a believer, we don't believe in luck. We believe in the divine providence of God. And so if we were to adopt that, it simply means that you just have to prepare yourself so that when the door opens or when the season comes, you can just run right through it. So I would encourage them, you continue to practice and you get around people who are better than you.
Right.
So that you can get something from them.
Yeah, that's good, and it's always impactful to be around the right set of people, so that you can grow. Now, before we get into running over, we know that Turks and Caicos they really went through a lot with the last hurricane. How was that for you, your church family? How did y'all come through?
Personally, it was kind of a blow for us. From a national standpoint, I understand that if not the worst, it was pretty close to it. But talking to some of the locals, they were comparing it to the Hurricane Donna back in the 60s, which was to date the worst one, but a lot of the locals are saying now Irma was worse than that. And as you drove around the island immediately after the storm, I mean, this was the worst one that I've ever been in, and I've been through Hurricane Andrew and all these other ones, but Irma was crazy. There are still portions of Providenciales that are without power over a month later. There are a lot of places in Grand Turk, which is the nation's capital, that don't have power. A lot of roofs were blown off, and a lot of houses were completely destroyed. So it was rough. It was really rough.
And I think it's good to hear it from you, someone who was there while it was going on, because I think that persons here in Nassau and the family, well, not all of the family islands, but some of the family islands couldn't really get an appreciation for what everybody else was going through, because we didn't really get, what they got. We really got scared. We really didn't get anything much. And
you can't really understand the devastation of a storm like that until you've been through it.
Right.
Because last year I saw what happened in Freeport with Matthew, and I looked at the pictures and I'm like, whoa, this is rough. But when you're in it and it feels like the roof is about to get taken off of where you at. It helps you to really, really appreciate what people have gone through.
Right. And of course, I'm sure you have a better appreciation for your relationship with God in those times as well.
Definitely.
Yeah. So now we got to touch on this one, because you dropped this one off, a month or two ago?
Yeah, that was in July.
In July,
About 2 months ago,
Yeah, and we've been ringing it ever since, and this has really been turning up the radio. It's really been turning up the radio. I've been listening to it, and I enjoy it more and more every time. Running over. Wow. We played it on the morning show just a few days ago, and persons are really receiving it well over here. So take us through the process of running over.
Running over, man. Like I was telling Bishop Denzel Roll last evening, I really wish I had these super stories.
Yeah.
like I got knocked off of my motorcycle and
yeah.
Or I was down to my last dime, man.
Yeah. You don't got them kind of story. No.
I'm relatively, man. I'm just a happy, jubilant person, and again, that was one of those times. I was at a restaurant, and it's kind of like a friend's house back in TI, and they got a restaurant attached to it, and here I am waiting on my food, and I hear these lyrics in my head. Lord, you got me running over. I just hear it, and I'm like, oh, this one is good.
Yeah. Yeah.
and so I start penning right then and there, and I start recording in my phone, and that was kind of the inception of running over. And I know you can hear kind of a lot of different influences in it as well, even though it has a heavy soca foundation to it, because a good guy, Joshua Ali, out of Trinidad. He helped me produce this one. Well, he really produced this one.
Right.
I sent him what I had, which still sounded kind of fused with some other stuff, and he took it way on the other side for me, with a totally solid soca feel, and so he helped to shape the sound of it, but Running Over, man, it was just one of those songs I heard in my spirit, and I just started writing, and there you have it.
Yeah, and I mean, you could really hear, and Joshua Ali, I mean, he's big. He has a lot of big songs within himself, so you could definitely hear the progression from Join the Praise Party now to Running Over. So what's next for you? What? We just gotta wait for you to be sitting somewhere and you maybe on the plane, and then you hear something else, or is there an album in the works or anything like that? Or
I'm gonna be working on the video, even though it's 3 months later. The video for Running Over.
Right.
When I get back, we're gonna be working on the video for that, and then there's another single that we're gonna drop. Either by the end of the year or first thing in the new year. It's almost done recording now. It's in the post-production stage.
Right.
And that was one of those songs again when I was in my bed asleep, and I'm like, Lord, you mean again I got to get up? And so that's
how it comes.
Yeah. So whenever you drop something in your spirit, whatever you're doing, you got to just pull on the side of the road or get up out your bed and start writing.
Yeah, you're right about it.
So we got another single that's about to drop, and then the album is gonna drop next year.
Okay.
I'm gonna drop the album next year, and I'm also proud to say that I'm gonna be bringing my band with me, Fearless Praise, and these are a group of people of praise and worship leaders from different backgrounds and whatnot, from the Turks and Caicos Islands. They've been just been going with me over the last 2 years and whatnot, and they're gonna be over here helping me out and doing what we do. We're gonna be working on some new projects next year, and I'm just so pleased to be working with some awesome individuals. My group, my band, Fearless Praise, we're made up of praise and worship leaders from different churches, all over the island. And the beautiful thing about it is we're working on some individual projects as well. So you can definitely expect to see some more hot gospel music coming out of the Turks and Caicos Islands over the years to come. We're working on stuff right now.
Yeah, and I mean, it's really strategic, that God planted you down there, and now you're blooming, you're making an impact down there as well. So you could bloom wherever you planted it.
Yes.
Now, before we wrap up things, persons, they want to connect with you. They got a big song. They say, man, hey, I want to get Kim Gardiner on the hook. I want to work it out.
Yes, please call me.
So now, how can persons do so? How can they get in contact with you?
Well, I'll give you a direct number to call me at.
Okay. You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. You can reach me at 649-241-8946. You can also, let me say that again, 649-241-8946. Or you can also reach me on my Facebook page. You can check out Kemuel Gardiner or Cam Gardiner. You can just inbox me, okay? Or you can send me an email, camgardiner@gmail.com. Any one of those.
Yeah, and sometimes you can just do what everybody else do. They just message me. Be like, you have his number? Like, yeah, and I'll just pass it on. Again, can talk with him. Yeah. All right, so before we go, any closing comments you want to leave with the listening audience?
Wow. Just continue. I just want to encourage everybody, to keep God first and everything. In everything that you do, keep God first. Whatever your dreams are, whatever your goals are, God, He is the author. He is the finisher of our faith.
Right.
Whether you're a musician or you're a preacher, a teacher, whatever it may be, you keep Him first and follow His footsteps and allow Him to take you into your destiny.
Oh, powerful. Pastor Kim Gardiner joins us right here on The Youth Perspective each and every Saturday at 8 p.m. What a powerful time it was. We want to thank you so much, sir, for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. And we're looking forward to when you come back again with Fearless Prayers and you just send us more stuff. And we're going to continue to play it right here on The Youth Perspective.
Awesome.
Yes, sir. All right, so have a great one. Great evening, everybody. I will see you on the next one. And, of course, now here is Pastor Kim Gardiner with Running Over.
Running over. Running over. Running over. Running over. Running over. Running over. Running over. Lord, you got me running over. All your blessings in my life. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. You got me exceedingly abundantly, more than I could ever think. Lord, you got me running over. I'm running over. 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 You got me. You got me, Lord. All of the blessing. You got me. You got me, Lord. All the blessing. You got me. Yes, you got me, Lord. And all I have within me reaches out to you, my King. All I want, all I need, you supply everything. All I have within me reaches out to you, my King. Yeah. All I need, you supply every. Oh, you got me, yeah. You got me, Lord. You got me, Lord. You got me. You got me, Lord. All of the blessing on top of me. You got me, Lord. You got me. You got me, Lord. All of the blessing. You got me. You got me, Lord. All the blessing running over. You got me, Lord. You got me. You got me, Lord. All of the blessing. You got me. You got me, Lord. All the blessing running over. You got me, Lord. You got me. You got me, Lord. All of the blessing. You got me. You got me, Lord. All the blessing running over. You got me, Lord.
I'm trying to be great, and I'm on my way, way up, way up, way up. It's never too late, and I'm on my way.
I'ma leave my mark. Ready, set, go. Ready, set, go. Ready, set,
I hope you enjoyed another edition of the Youth Perspective. Stay tuned for more interviews, more in-depth conversation, great music as we seek to encourage, empower, impact, and uplift our youth of this nation. Here on the Youth Perspective, we'll see you next time right here on the Youth Perspective with Keshik and Jamal.